Hi all, my name is Ryan and welcome to my channel What the Pop, where we discuss pop culture in general and Buffy a lot. The usual spoiler alert, I may talk about things in these analyses that relate to future plot points, so if you haven't seen all of Buffy at least once and you don't like spoilers, I suggest you like the channel, then come back once you've seen it all. Today we continue our look at Season 2 with Episode 13, Surprise. A plot summary. Buffy is tossing in her sleep, another precognitive dream in play. She walks down her hall and Drusilla follows her. Into her bathroom, which is now the Bronze. Willow is speaking French to a monkey. Joyce drops a plate. Buffy smiles as she sees Angel. Then Drew takes him, wishing her a happy birthday. Buffy goes to Angel's place to make sure he's okay. He distracts her with kisses. Angel asks what she wants for her birthday. She says, "Surprise me." Buffy tells Willow she's ready to do it with him. Willow just says, "Wow," a lot. With Buffy's encouragement, Willow talks to Oz. Oz will be her +1 to Buffy's birthday party. Xander asks Cordy to be his date. She says absolutely not. Buffy tells Giles about her dream and fears for Angel. Spike's in a wheelchair and had a little too much exposure. Drew licks his burn. He lets her have a peek at one of her presents. Next morning, Joyce says, "Do you really think you're ready, Buffy?" Then drops a plate. Buffy's dream is coming true. Jenny's uncle rocks up, sees Jana of the Calderush Roma people. Angel is supposed to be suffering for killing their clan's favourite daughter, a century ago. Giles insists Buffy's party goes ahead. Jenny picks up Buffy to take her to the Bronze. They encounter vamps. Oz sees Buffy stake a vamp. Vamps are real, says that explains a lot. Jenny brings in the box. From the vamps, it's an arm. Angel and Giles says it belongs to the judge. Jenny suggests Angel takes it away. At the pier, Angel gives Buffy a Claddagh ring. Before they are jumped, losing the arm. Judge is assembled, burns out Dalton. Buffy has another dream. Her and Angel find out the judge is assembled, narrowly escape. Cold and wet, they make their way to Angel's place, where they get in bed. He says he loves her and they have sex. He wakes up, something is wrong, stumbles into the hallway and calls Buffy's name as he collapses. This is another episode written by Marty Noxon and marks a great start to another brilliant two-parter, but it is not without some issues. First, let's just get it right out of the way. Calling people gypsies is not okay, and is something this series has done with abandon. Obviously some research was put into this episode, as the Calderush are an actual Roma tribe, but they still have to throw gypsy, which is a slur, into it? Just no. Our second issue with this episode is bad plotting to force action. At the docks you get Buffy and Angel fighting 3 vampires. Buffy gets thrown into the water by one and Angel jumps in after her, but completely forgetting about the unkillable demon that will arise if he is assembled. Now Angel is willing to leave Buffy for an unknown period of time in order to keep this guy from being assembled, but throws away any chance of stopping him because Buffy got wet. The way Buffy got taken out of this fight was just freaking ridiculous, but Angel going after her was even worse. Buffy isn't some helpless little girl, and I'm assuming she can swim. And Angel throwing himself after her suggests that she needs saving, that he needs to be her hero. What he needed to do was listen to Buffy when she said, "Angel, the box," and focus on the goddamn mission at hand. Who knows why he did it? Maybe he was having some flashback to Buffy drowning in Prophecy Girl. Rather than have Buffy taken out so easily and Angel doing something so stupid, the vampires could have got the box in a way that didn't make our heroes look incompetent. How about just sending more vampires? Have Buffy and Angel engaged in an epic fight with a few vampires each while Dalton takes the box and runs. It would have been a much better showing for our heroes, and it would be a funny callback to Dalton stealing the amazing Crossomatic, just leaving with it while Buffy was otherwise engaged. The second bad plot point is having Spike helping to assemble the judge, someone who will essentially burn out humanity. We see him becoming parts 1 and 2 when Angelus is trying to awaken a Cathla, that Spike likes the world. He likes that it has all these happy meals with legs just walking around. Yet here he is trying to reassemble a demon that will wipe out those Happy Meals. It's a glaring inconsistency in his character. Our third issue is Xander's really gross idea about Buffy and Angel's future together, and his joy in the idea of her sadness. It's clearly a depiction of his home life, and we get a brief glimpse of that home life when he calls home and he has to tell his mum who he is. This whole thing will be revisited when in Hell's Bells. Apart from those things, I freaking love this episode. Okay, just one more thing. The judge being a giant blue smurf just makes him kind of adorable. He's just not scary at all. But clearly Brian Thompson doesn't mind sitting in a makeup chair for hours because this is his second makeup and prosthetic covered character stint, having played Luke in Welcome to the Hellmouth and The Harvest. The opening dream sequence in this episode is fantastic. Buffy generally does dream sequences really well, and this is one of the best. You have the callback to What's My Line Here. Willow says, and I'm going to butcher this because I don't speak French, Le hippo a piqué ton pantalon, which basically means the hippo stole your pants. A callback to Oz saying all monkeys are French, and the hippo being jealous of the monkey having pants. We get Joyce asking Buffy if she's ready, and it's such a perfectly layered line, and one of the most important lines of this episode. I've mentioned in previous episodes how good the whole cast's acting is, how they manage to convey so much in just expression and body language, and we get a perfect example of that here. We see that Buffy has seen someone in the dream, and just by the look on Buffy's face, you know immediately that it's Angel, before they even show him. Do not get me started on Sarah Michelle never winning an Emmy for Buffy, because it's a frickin' crime. But then Drew takes Angel and says, "Happy birthday, Buffy." Drew always rides this perfect line between being completely annoying and perfectly menacing. And while part of that is the writers, a huge part of that is Juliet Landau's acting choices. And I know I say that a lot. And she is freaking awesome here. Absolutely kills it. When she goes from threatening to pluck out Dalton's eyes to putting his crushed glasses back on his face, that instant transformation is just glorious to watch. Once again, we get some absolute magic between Willow and Oz. The way he asks her out is one of the cutest scenes in Buffy, and may actually be the best way I've seen anyone ask a person out ever. And Oz's absolutely laconic response to a vampire being dusted.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Hey, did everybody see that guy just turn to dust?
Sort of.
Yep, vampires are real. A lot of them live in Sunnydale. Will fill you in.
I know it's hard to accept at first.
Actually, it explains a lot.
Well, it goes without saying that this is why we all love Oz. He's just such a chill character. We also get the first notes of Christoph Beck's brilliant Close Your Eyes, the Buffy and Angel love theme.
But what if she...
What if what?
Sorry. Were we talking?
It gets me every single time. For me personally, I don't think there's a more emotionally charged score for any show or movie. The themes of this season so far have been a constant reminder that Buffy is on a journey to adulthood. In Buffy's dreams, at the start of the episode, Joyce asks, "Do you really think you're ready, Buffy?" before she drops and breaks a plate. It's such an important and deeply layered question in terms of the episode, the story arc of the season, the themes developed, and Buffy's character development overall. And the visual of the breaking of the plate right after the question is symbolic. In terms of the story, Joyce asks it on Buffy's 17th birthday.
You know, I woke up feeling more responsible, mature, and level-headed.
Really? It's uncanny.
I now possess the qualities one looks for in a licensed driver.
Buffy,
You said we could talk about it again when I was 17.
Do you really think you're ready, Buffy?
Mature, responsible, level-headed. These three things have been constant subjects in the episode so far. When she was bad, had Buffy experiencing PTSD from the trauma of embracing her destiny and getting killed. As a result, she is a complete bitch, beholden to emotion, particularly fear, and is not mature, responsible, or level-headed. We see her in her training montage say, "I'm ready. Whatever they've got coming next, I'm ready." She says she's ready 4 times in a few minutes, but is she really? Some assembly required warned Buffy about the dangers of the hand acting without temperance from the mind, spirit, and heart. In other words, regardless of the situation, to be mature, responsible, and level-headed. School hard reminded us that Buffy is just a girl. But we had Principal Snyder asking her to be mature and responsible in setting up the parent-teacher night, and not only expected, but took joy in the hope she would fail, only for it to be invaded by Spike and his gang. Upon Spike's arrival, we see Buffy surrounded by adults who are panicking, and it is only Buffy and then her mother who remains mature, responsible, and level-headed, trying to keep everyone safe. Inca Mummy Girl warned us what happens when a chosen one abandons their responsibility to indulge in more personal whims. Reptile Boy had Buffy wanting to be treated like an adult, as someone more mature, only to act like a teenager and be impulsive, almost resulting in her being sacrificed to a penis monster. Halloween again showed us what happens when a chosen one is distracted by pursuits outside of their responsibility. Lie to Me emphasised the personal responsibility we have in the choices we make and the consequences that follow. The Dark Age showed Buffy has the capability, being the mature, responsible, and level-headed one when Giles was unable to. What's My Line Parts 1 and 2 had Buffy meet a model slayer, one who takes her calling more responsibly and is more level-headed. Buffy declared herself immature here. Ted had Buffy act with passion rather than be level-headed, and the consequences that followed that, but showed that again, as Slayer, she is responsible. In Bad Eggs, Joyce hammered us with the importance of responsibility, and constantly reminded us that Buffy, and teenagers in general, aren't responsible. It's fitting then that it is Joyce that poses the question, do you really think you're ready, Buffy? In terms of the episode, this is clearly asking Buffy if she's ready for sex. The passion between her and Angel has been building to the point where Buffy says to Willow that it's inevitable. Is she mature enough and responsible enough to make that choice, to take that step and accept the consequences? Well, Buffy has been warned against having sex, and even in the scene with Willow where she says she's ready, we get a subtle warning that she probably shouldn't.
I don't know. I mean, want isn't always the right thing to do. To act on want can be wrong.
True.
But to not act on want, what if I never feel this way again?
Carpe diem. You told me that once.
Both of them seem to have forgotten what happened to Willow when she seized the day. She almost ended up as a snack for the Master. When Buffy and Angel do have sex, like last episode, Angel is the only one that is considering the consequences. As Xander and Cordelia have shown, the relationship between Buffy and Angel is wrong, and both Buffy and Angel know it. Angel says here, "I love you. I try not to, but I can't stop." And Buffy replies, Me too. I can't either." Again, complete slaves to passion. Angel says, "Buffy, maybe we shouldn't," but Buffy just says, "Kiss me," and they surrender to it. Now, I will talk more about Buffy's decision to have sex in greater detail in the next episode when the major consequences of it is revealed. But as I said before, the question posed by Joyce is a layered one. In terms of the episode, it clearly refers to sex, but at the next level up, that of the season story arc, it primes us for the second half of this season. We've been told clearly that Buffy and Angel having sex is going to have consequences, and that Buffy is going to be responsible for dealing with whatever happens. And this question, do you really think you're ready, Buffy, tells us that those consequences are going to be huge and have a major impact on the direction of the story for this season. The breaking of the plate here is symbolic. In Greek culture, the breaking of plates represents the joy of life, that it is a moment in time and it is impermanent. Giles, in this episode, projects that philosophy.
Buffy's surprise party will go ahead as we planned. Except I won't be wearing the little hat.
But Buffy and Angel.
May will be in danger, as they have been before, and I imagine will be again. One thing I've learned in my tenure here on the Hellmouth is that there is no good time to relax. But Buffy's turning 17 just this once, and she deserves a party.
For Buffy, this is another warning. This passionate bliss that she currently feels with Angel, her dream is telling her that it's temporary, that it will not last. The symbolism of the plate breaking, coupled with Drew staking Angel, her reaching out to him as his dust blows away. It was never about Drew killing Angel, but the impermanence of their happiness. In terms of the greater themes, the overarching themes of Buffy itself, we are reminded that Buffy's journey, particularly in these first 3 seasons while they are still at school, is a journey to adulthood. All of these episodes, all of the monsters, are metaphors for the horrors of growing up, for everything that we experience on our journey to becoming adults. How we act in response to those horrors ultimately shapes who we become. One of the ideas of adulthood is that we are prepared for the difficulties of being an adult during our formative teenage years. And this scene really asks Buffy one specific question. Are you really prepared for everything that life is going to throw at you? Remember that. Because it's an important one for this whole season. The first half of this season has been building to it. The second half of this season will spend most of its time trying to answer it, and only in the season finale, in Becoming, will we get the truth. Drusilla and Buffy are paralleled throughout this episode, and with Drusilla back to full strength, we see that Drew is yet another reflection of Buffy. I've said before that Drusilla and Spike represent the demonization of sex, but Drusilla plays a far more specific role here. Drusilla represents Buffy's unfettered sexual desire. As an eternal child, she simply wants and demands. She has no notion of control. It is notable that as the passion between Buffy and Angel has increased, Drusilla has gotten stronger and more powerful. This reflects Buffy's feelings towards Angel. Prior to What's My Line, Drusilla was weak. She needed Spike. Spike did the restoration ritual and brought her to full strength. And what was it that brought Drusilla to full strength? It was Angel. In this episode, the episode where Buffy decides to and does have sex with Angel, Buffy and Drusilla occupy each other's minds. Buffy has 2 dreams that feature Drusilla, killing and threatening Angel, and Drusilla tells us that she had a dream Buffy would come to her party. Drusilla is front and centre of Buffy's thoughts. And we see this when Buffy tells Willow that she's ready, that she wants to have sex with Angel. Her sexual desire is forefront in her mind. What is most interesting in the 2 dreams is the contrast between Drusilla in both. In the first dream, Drusilla is dressed in black, is in full vamp face and kills Angel. In the second dream, Drusilla is dressed in white, is not in vamp face, and only threatens Angel. The contrast in this imagery further reflects Drew's role as the representation of Buffy's sexual desire. In the second dream, she's still pure, dressed in virginal white. Her face is normal as the sexual demon hasn't yet been released. That sexual desire is under control and Angel remains alive as a result. In the first dream, Drusilla is no longer pure. She's dressed in black, her virginity gone. She's in vamp face because the sexual demon has now been released. And with the release of that demon, Angel is lost. The Slayers of Virgin Sacrifices has been highlighted earlier this season, and we saw Buffy contrasted with Kendra. Kendra represents Buffy's chaste virginal side, as we saw in her interactions with Xander in What's My Line. Couple that with why Kendra was sent to Sunnydale by her watcher.
I cannot just leave. I was sent here for a reason. Mr. Zabuto said all the signs indicate that a very dark power is about to rise in Sunnydale.
What was the dark power that arose in Sunnydale in What's My Line? It was Drusilla being restored. So the representation of Buffy's virginity was sent to stop the representation of Buffy's sexual desire. Together, Kendra and Drew represent 2 sides of Buffy that can't coexist. Buffy is either one or the other, chaste virgin or sexual being, and we know what happens when they meet. Angel gives Buffy a claddagh ring and says it's a tradition of his people and is the first indication that Angel is Irish. Angel giving Buffy the claddagh ring saw a surge in popularity for the rings. I mentioned it earlier, but my favourite quote from this episode is this one from Willow and Oz.
I'm gonna ask you to go out with me tomorrow night. And I'm kind of nervous about it, actually. It's interesting.
Oh, well, if it helps at all, I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, it helps. It creates a comfort zone. Do you want to go out with me tomorrow night?
Oh, I can't!
Well, see, I like that you're unpredictable.
Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. It helps the channel a lot. You can also help by becoming a Patreon. Or you can support us by buying a t-shirt or something else from our Redbubble store. If you've disagreed with anything that I've said, or you have anything else to add, you can put it in the comments below, and I'll see you next video.